This plant is gorgeous. People spend thousands of rupees to own one. Instagram loves it. Plant collectors love it. But if I could go back in time, I probably wouldn't have buy it. In fact, after growing hundreds of plants over the years, these are few plants that I honestly regret buying. Not because they are bad plants, but because they were completely wrong for my balcony. My lifestyle or simply demanded too much attention. Today, I am sharing 5 plants that I personally regret buying and what I would buy instead. Let's start with one of the biggest disappointments. Start with number 5, Anthurium. Now don't misunderstand me. It is beautiful. The flowers last for weeks. The leaves are glossy. Everything looks perfect until you bring it home. Then nothing happens. It grows painfully slowly. Every new leaf takes forever. It constantly complains if humidity drops. Too much water, problem. Too little water, problem. Less humidity, problem. For apartment gardeners who want fast growing rewarding plants, this one can become more maintenance than enjoyment. If you love flowers, I'd rather recommend peace lily, much easier. Anthurium is high maintenance heartbreaker, and after maintenance also they are not producing flower if the light is not proper. So now why exactly does this plant struggle so much, especially for us in apartments? It comes down to a bit science regarding its root. Anthuriums are epiphytes by nature. In the wild they grow on trees, meaning their roots are adapted to constant airflow and very loose, chunky bark. When you put them in standing potting soil, the soil eventually settles and compacts. Even we are using special soil mix, then also it happens. And Anthurium's roots are incredibly sensitive that compaction suffocates them. They stop receiving oxygen, and once root begins to struggle, the entire plant shut down. That is why you see the painfully slow growth or leaves that won't unfurl. Compared to this, the peace lily. Look at this root system. Unlike Anthurium, peace lily has much more robust fibrous root structure. It is designed to handle denser soil and is much more forgiving of varying moisture levels. While the Anthuriums act like a delicate surgical patient that needs the perfect condition to breathe, the peace lily is like a powerhouse. It can navigate denser soil without losing its ability to thrive. So, if you are tired of constant root suffocation cycle, the peace lily is just the biologically superior choice for most indoor setups. Now, the next plant in this list is Calathea Rattlesnake. I saw this in the nursery, beautiful, healthy, perfect. Then it come home, suddenly every leaf started curling. Brown edges, dry tips, humidity issues, water quality issues, bright light problem, low light problem. It becomes the drama queen of my collection. Then if you love patterned leaves, buy a Calathea marantha instead, or Calathea peacock. Those are much more sturdy and they won't give you a heartbreak. Now you might be wondering, why did it look so perfect at the nursery but become such a drama queen the second I bought it in home? The science here is actually quite fascinating. Calathea rattlesnakes are tropical understory plants. In their natural habitat, they grow beneath the canopy of large trees, where the air is constantly humid and still. In our apartments here in India, the environment is often a total mismatch of them. Our air, especially with ceiling fans running or air conditioning is on, is significantly drier than what this plant needs. Because their leaves are so thin and broad, they lose water through their pores, a process called transpiration, much faster than they can pull it up through their roots in our dry indoor air. When the transpiration rate becomes too high, the plant essentially panics. It curls its leaves to try and save water, and those crispy brown tips, that is plant literally drying out faster than it can hydrate. If you love the stunning patterned foliage but want a plant that can actually handle the realities of an Indian home, I highly recommend it. Marantha, they offer the same beautiful artistic look. See this Calathea peacock also, but they are generally much more forgiving of the fluctuating humidity level we live with every day. Now moving to the next plant, that is Pink Princess. This should be very emotional for me. I didn't buy it because I loved it. I bought it because everyone else had one, and in every Facebook post I saw this beautiful plant. It's a big mistake for me. Social media can make us believe every rare plant is worth buying. Reality, slow growth, variegation isn't guaranteed, expensive, and honestly, my Philodendron Florida Beauty gives me much more happiness. So never buy a plant because it's trending. Buy it because you will enjoy growing it. Now moving to the next plant. Now let's talk about the Grafted Rose. These are absolute showstoppers in the nursery, aren't they? They are vibrant, they are fragrant, and they look like they belong in a royal garden. But there is a catch that most sellers won't tell you. You see, these aren't your typical garden variety bushes. They are grafted. This means a high quality flowering top section has been physically fused onto a different, hardier rootstock. These roses are bred specifically for high intensity climate controlled greenhouses where light, humidity, and airflow are monitored by computers, not by balcony conditions. When you bring a greenhouse bred plant to a high rise balcony, you taking it out of a nursery ICU and putting it into the harsh reality of urban living. Our balconies rarely provide the consistent, unobstructed full sun that these grafted varieties demand. They need massive amount of airflow to prevent the fungal issues that thrive in our humid months, and they are incredibly sensitive to the pest pressure we got in city environments. Without that perfect greenhouse infrastructure, they don't just stop blooming, they struggle to survive. I still love rose, truly, but I have learned that unless you have a dedicated open air garden space with perfect sun exposure, buying exotic grafted rose is just setting yourself up for frustration. Save yourself the heartbreak and stick to the varieties that are actually bred for your specific climate. Now, the most common one in my list is succulents, especially Lakshmi, Kamal, Variegated, Jade, donkey tail. I bought these plants many times, I killed them many times. I love these succulents, but when I kill them, it is a really I'm heartbroken. But this problem isn't them. The problem is where I live. High humidity, long monsoon, less direct sun. They stretched, rotten stem, lost color. I kept blaming myself until I realized they simply weren't suitable for my growing condition. Sometimes the right plant in the wrong environment becomes the wrong plant. I still want some of these plants because every plant teaches us something. Now tell me, which plant do you regret buying? Let's help other gardeners avoid expensive mistakes that encourage. Tell me your story also. See you in the next video. Bye till then.